I'm in Salad, and I saw The Boys, episode 6. This episode leaves off with some information about Compound V, how it was smuggled into other countries under the disguise of vaccines for like these super charity events. So that's the information that we're given now. And before I continue, I gotta say spoilers for the entire episode. This video is just me talking about plot synopsis and then reacting to it. After that, then we get to scene where we see Ashley is very mad. She's upset. It's because Starlight goes up to her. She's like, "Oh, why are you upset?" What? It's you. I'm fired because of what you didn't do your job. You didn't do your job, so now I'm fired as a social media manager. And she kind of just like huffs and buffs away. And I'm like, oh, Starlight. Oh man. You're such a gem. Anyway, so she goes to meet with Madeline. Madeline's like, oh yeah, have a seat. Have a gander. And Starlight, she's obviously mad at Starlight. She's like, hey, you have to, I know you're like new here, but you have to comply with us. Like, we thought that this would be super safe. It's your own area of expertise. Like, you come from church. Like, you know these people. So why you have to listen to us. She's like, no, I want to be a hero. I don't want to just look pretty and pose. I want to be a hero. And Madeline's like, well, then you don't have a position on the 7. And then Starlight, you got a reverse Uno card. Actually, this would be very bad for PR. Don't do that. Don't fire me, or else it's like you got somebody outing a sexual assault victim, and then that person gets fired. And then it looks really suspicious, and it's not good, especially in today's current news cycle. Not very good. And so Starlight won that interaction. Madeline's like, all right, I got stuff to think about. Looks like you gotta go. Ka-chow, bye. Door's right over yonder. And so she leaves. And then Madeline's like, oh boy. Oh boy. What a situation that has occurred. Alright. Done with that situation. Next situation. You got Billy Butcher. He's taken Huey to this collateral damage meeting. I like how the opening shot is filmed, by the way. It's just like following Billy Butcher and Huey as they go in. And then it's like a sign exposes them to where they're at. And then a bunch of people talking. It's like, aw, yeah, this is nice. This is like an AA meeting for people who've suffered from superhero collateral damage. So, they go in, and they start listening to stories. There was this one story that really stood out to me, was a story about how this one guy, he meets, I forget the icicle lady's name. She's like, she's just ice. She's a solid block of ice. That's her power. And she finds him, and they hook up, and while she's climaxing, for a split second, her body goes really cold, like liquid nitrogen cold, and you imagine what would happen. His wiener got frozen, they got put in the freezer for too long, to the point where it snapped. It's like, oh, that's sad. How do you pee? That's my question, really. Honestly, forget the pain because you wouldn't have it, because you would instantly lose feeling, I believe. Split second pain, split second, I don't feel anything, it's like super burning sensation probably. So, then I would imagine it would crumble, like a shattering, like a crumble shattering, or maybe like an icicle shattering, where it's like, it's all cracky and then it kind of explodes. How did it shatter? That's actually a really good question, honestly. But enough with that. Billy Butcher, immediately, he's like, alright, I have an issue with how you guys are not standing up for yourselves. Like, at all. Y'all are just out here talking about you being a victim. Ooh, boo-hoo, I'm a victim. Ooh, you're not doing anything to stop yourselves from being victims. You know what? I'm out of here. And this is because Billy Butcher's talking to some judgments in the middle of the circle with Huey. They leave and they sit on a park bench. It's like, okay, cool. Well, I didn't really want to be friends with those people anyway, so like, it doesn't matter. Not really. That social interaction does not matter. Who cares? You're not gonna go there again. So they're talking on a bench. Billy Butcher is now talking about Becca, as he calls her. Rebecca. I like that nickname, Becca. So he's talking about Becca. He sees his wife. She liked the Spice Girls, which is why he can quote the Spice Girls. And it's so sad. One night, she gets raped by Homelander, and then sits on the bench that they're actually at for 3 hours. Then walks up, leaves, and says nothing. And that was 8 years ago. 8 years! What happened to her? Where did she go? What could she be doing for 8 years that she had to just walk up and leave her husband? I feel like Billy Butcher isn't telling the full truth here. Or at least something else was happening that just was like, she can just leave and not tell anyone. I mean, that's my suspicion. But alas, I could be wrong. So let's go to the next part. You also see Frenchie. Frenchie's a good one. Oh man, I love Frenchie. So Frenchie and Mother's Milk, do not call him Mommy's Milk. He does not have those fine, delicious mommy milkers where you can call him Mommy's Milk. You have to call him Mother's Milk. So, Mother's Milk, Frenchie are approaching the Mesmerizer, as was the TV show. The Mesmer. He's got this power, telepathy, however it's pronounced. He can look into your brain, his brain noggle. Mesmer looks at Forelli, and this really happened, guys. He's like, hey, I see you're also you're Forelli too. That's your true identity. But you're a Frenchie, it's okay. I'm just gonna keep calling you Frenchie, because that's alright. I ain't no hater. So, the Frenchie and Mother's Milk go talk to him, and there's the way Mother's Milk talks to him is pretty cool. He's like, yo, why don't you just, I don't care about your show, but look, inside trading, your inside trading was awesome. And he's like, well, how do you know, who are you? How do you know about that? Instantly hooked. You gotta hook the guy. And so now they're walking through the park, and one of the promises Well, this seems to be a promise, but hold on, I'm getting myself ahead. He goes to the park, and he sees his daughter. The daughter, like, kinda doesn't really want to talk to him. The daughter's like, I don't know you. And it just seems like a cope. She's coping real hard, just doesn't want to see the dad, because he's not a really good one. He's kind of a disappointment. And mother's milk, like, all right, you gotta stay clean, and you can do that once. You can see her like once a week or once a month. All right, he's like, yeah, I'll do that. Okay, so now effective bribery. Now it is time to get what's happening in that woman's head. That woman being the very, very feral woman that they find in the cave. It always feels weird just calling her that woman or that girl, or it just feels to me like, okay, she needs a name. She needs a name. And everybody else is also thinking the same thing. They're like, hey, Mesmer, could you please look into her brain, her noggin? He goes to do that initially. She starts flashing, seeing stuff when he holds her hand, and she freaks out to the point where she just kind of snaps his hand. He's obviously hurt, and I didn't know Mother's Milk was a field paramedic. He's like, I'm trying not to, like, get you to leave. We need splints. How are we gonna do some splints? I need to go to a hospital. No, you don't. You got a field paramedic here, and he's here to tell you that you can just, like, chill. It's okay. You just need to make it go straight. That's really all that matters. So, he finds 2 wooden spoons and a bunch of duct tape. That's a good enough splint. That's a proper splint right there. And now he, with his other hand, he goes to see her images. First, they see a terrorist flag, so they assume she's a terrorist. Ooh, she's bad. Ooh, no. And then, the next time, they see, first she's in the moon. She's in the moonlight, that song, that Juice WRLD song that I don't know the lyrics to. And they do learn that her name is Kimiko. Kimiko? That's a really cool name. I like that name. So she has been captured by this terrorist organization, and then has been fed Compound V and forced to fight in this army with the terrorists, as a super souped up terrorist. And then it's like, oh, Vought is sending these vaccines, which is just Compound V, to areas where they have people captured to be part of their terrorist organization, and then injected with Compound V, so they have super terroristic so they have 2 super terroristic people / soldiers on the terrorist side fighting against these American soldiers. But these American soldiers, assuming that Vought is American, are not good enough for just these Compound V soldiers. So they gotta get them soups up in the military to... It's all a grift. Vought just wants to be in the military. Vought is evil. I do not want Vought in the military. Dang it. So, yeah, they find out this information. It's like, oh, this is great. Also, Frenchie and Kimiko, they're just bonding. I love the bonding. She starts nodding or shaking her head, nodding. Those are 2 different actions that I'm doing. And she's holding Frenchie's hand, and it's really cute. It's like, oh, Frenchie! I love you, Frenchie. Also, Frenchie has to kind of like stay out of the way just because she's there. And also, Frenchie's a person that exists. Also, speaking of more people that exist, I remember that guy. Yes, Mesmer. He's like, hey, I want to be part of the 7 again. Please, please. Could you just look at all these pictures? And guess who it is? A picture of the people who fit the description. It was the Billy Butcher, and then it was Frenchie, and it was Mother's Milk. Is Huey there? Huey was not there. Huey instead was on a date with Starlight, and they're having like a nice bonding moment, and it's so sweet. I love them. I love them so much. And then the moment gets real nice. You see, just Huey sees Robin, dead Robin, just kind of in the corner there. Well, if Starlight's in front of me, you see Robin's there. And then he goes to kiss Starlight. Mwah. Mwah. And then Robin's no longer there. Huey's like smiles and kisses her some more. And then guess who's there? Billy Butcher. Billy Butcher is like, ah, hey, you look like Starlight. You're my new Starlight friend. Hey! Wouldn't you know it? Who's your favorite? My favorite's Translucent. Have you seen anything from Translucent? No, he's on a mission. Ooh, I wonder what happened to Translucent. And it's just like, she's threatening him. And she leaves, up and leaves, and Billy Butcher is like, hey, you cannot fraternize on the other side. Huey's like trying to tell him that she's a good person, which she is. She really is like a really good person, just wants to help people. But of course Billy Butcher's like, yo, you gotta stop this. Or I'm gonna tell her. But like not in that plane of text, but that's what he's implying. He's implying he's going to tell her about this. And then he leaves, comes back. Oh, well, Starlight comes back after he leaves. And then, hey, where'd he go? He's like, well, he's gone. Let's enjoy our night. And then that's how it ends. Awesome. That was great. I liked it. Oh boy, what do I say about this? There's like a lot more information, especially about Kimiko. She's great. And also friends, she's also developing like some sort of nice friendship. As close as I can call it is a friendship with Frenchie. And Billy the Butcher is like, just like thinking she's unhelpable and like savage. And it's not fair to her character. So you know what? I just love her. I just love her. Wish her the best. She's wearing like clothing. She's wearing a cool yellow hoodie, which means she's the coolest of them all. So I gotta give this episode a solid 8.1 out of 10. If you like that content and more content at patreon.com/ASEpresents for $3 a month for some daily vlogs plus some extended mint salad sauce, $20 a month. I got one movie review per 1 month. So go check out patreon.com/ASEpresents. More links to support me are in the description down below. On Fansly, I'm answering to all fan DMs, so hit me up on fansly.com/itsmintsalad. Until next time, I'm in Salad Saw. I'll see you later, my salad croutons bacon bits.